Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Oh Shoot. I'm your host, Cassidy Lynn. And guys, it's December. How did we get here? I've been asking myself that question basically every single day, and today's no exception. We are talking about how to wrap up your photography year with confidence. So I've got some tasks. I've got some things we need to discuss for how you can wrap up this year and make it the best one yet. We've got some financial things. We've got some social media things. So stay tuned. We're going to get to that eventually. Two things before we get into the episode. First thing, I just got off of an interview with Insider. Yes, that's right. And I'm not kidding, because my family went viral. Yeah, we got stuck in an elevator and went viral. So, just quitting photography, BRB, becoming an elevator influencer. No, but actually, the video of me and my family getting stuck in an elevator blew up on Instagram. If you didn't see it, I'll give you the brief rundown. Basically, me and it was 11 of us total. We, on Thanksgiving weekend, got stuck in a hotel elevator after we had just gone out to eat. And yeah, it was crazy. We hit the call button and the elevator tech came within a couple of minutes, but they had to pry the doors open, and there was a small little hole at the top of the elevator. It was like a 2-foot gap maybe, that at the very top of the elevator that every single one of us had to climb out of. So it was interesting. My grandma was in the elevator. One of my cousins was freaking out. So it was a whole ordeal, and we got it all on video. So it was quite funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I'm not aware that when things go this viral that you get contacted by literal news people for the story. And that's what happened. I started getting a bajillion emails, people asking me if they can use the video. Got a TV inquiry from Insider, and so I just did the interview. I don't know. They said that they were going to air it today. I have no idea when it comes out or anything. We had seven of us total on the call, people that were in the elevator. So it was definitely interesting. That's my TV debut. Stay tuned. But besides my breaking TV, live television news, we also have to discuss Sony's new camera that they announced. Now, listen, guys, I'm not sponsored by Sony. This is not paid by Sony. Obviously, I care about what Sony announces because I shoot Sony, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. I try to keep you guys updated on all things gear when gear comes out. I know I just missed a recent Nikon release, but this is a Sony A75 is what it is. And if you're not familiar with all the different letters and stuff, this basically is the Sony A7 III, which was a really groundbreaking camera in the industry. It's the newest version of it, so it's the A75. They did come out with the A7 IV last year, I think, or maybe it's been out. And to be honest, what I care about are a couple things. And the main thing I care about is price, right? So what are we talking here? Well, I looked it up. Have no fear. The new A75 is going to be just under $3,000. The Sony A7 IV is around $2,000. So that's a big jump up. $3,000 for a camera. It's pretty, if you do it professionally, I would say that's pretty standard. But if you're looking to get into the industry, I would say it's pretty expensive. And I actually looked up what the difference is between the two cameras, just in case if you were someone that's interested in this new camera, the A75. I'll just tell you guys the main differences. So there's a faster sensor and a higher burst / continuous shooting. which is cool. I don't always need super fast bursts, but you can also do 30 frames per second, which I don't think you could do that on the A7 IV, so it's good for video. It has a better hybrid autofocus, a new sensor with integrated AI, which offers more improved subject detection, which actually is really nice. Like, having good autofocus is make or break it around here. Better video performance, improved stabilization. Okay. What stays similar is the sensor resolution and the still image quality. So, do you need this camera if you're looking into it? I don't know. I haven't used it, but do you need it? I don't know. If you're looking for an upgrade, maybe you have the Sony A73 or something. Yeah, I'm sure this would be a good upgrade for you. I mean, I do like that the cost, like $3,000, that's going to be, in my opinion, that's right on the edge of affordable to high price. So I think it's like right in the middle for me. An expensive camera, I would say, is like $4,000 to $5,000. I would say that's really expensive. But in the 2 to 3 range, I'm like, okay, that's pretty manageable. That's probably going to be if you're, it's not a hobby for you anymore. You're getting into doing it professionally is what I would say. So there you have it. Besides that, guys, we're going to get into our episode for today. By the way, Spotify Wrapped came out today when I'm recording this. Thank you to everyone who listens. Seriously, it blows my mind, the amount of people that listen to this podcast, the amount of people that it's their number one podcast. Thank you guys so much. I am just a girl with a yapping problem is what it is. I'm just a girl who loves photography, who loves to yap and will not shut up. Literally almost 300 episodes later, here we are. So thank you guys for listening. Honestly, if you've been with me since like the beginning of this podcast, it's actually crazy the difference in me as a person. I mean, visually, I look different. I talk different. I talk more confidently. I feel like I'm better, like well-spoken. I'm better at photography. I'm better at business. It's just so crazy how much 4 years makes of a difference. And I started this podcast in 2021. So thank you guys so much for listening. I wish I could give you all a hug through your little headphones. Thank you. Seriously, it means so much. And I love to keep going with this podcast. It's so fun. So yeah, love you guys. Okay, we're going to get into how to wrap up your photography year with confidence. So I would love to kind of gauge here. This is kind of for the people who are done shooting at this point. I know that there are different climates where you're actually getting into your busy season right now. I know for like Florida, that's a big thing. But for most people, you're in your slow season right now, which allows us to kind of do all these different things. So December is really, really important for your photography business. This is the time where we can lock in and really evaluate, okay, how did the year go and how can I make changes to next year? It's a really important time because you're able to lock in with different financial stuff. And honestly, it's a really important time for your business because it allows you the rest and relaxation that you need. I feel like December, besides the holidays and like being busy personally, okay, maybe you have Christmas minis, so actually maybe this isn't true. I just feel like December is a really good time to rest and like not feel burnt out. That's what I'm trying to say, because throughout the year you just get so busy with so many different shoots and all the different things. But now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Christmas minis could actually keep you very busy. So maybe I take that back. But for the most part, I feel like December is a great time to get your rest and relaxation. So hopefully you guys are able to do that this month. We're going to be talking about your finances. We're going to talk about editing, blogging, online presence, marketing, client experience, growth, literally all the things, pricing, packages. We're going to hit all of it in this episode because you know what? This episode is about evaluating every single aspect of your business. So lock in, get ready. And when I do episodes like this, I don't expect you guys to go and do my entire list that I'm telling you. I expect from you, not me telling you how to listen to this episode, but I expect that when you listen to the episode, you're finding 2 to 3 things, 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you're like, oh yeah, I actually do need to do that. Or, I haven't done that this year. Or it gives you just a good list of action items for after you listen to this episode, you know what to do. That's kind of my hope in this. I'm not trying to like overwhelm you guys with tasks, but these are great things to keep an eye on and work on in December. So our first thing we're going to talk about is your finances. It is not a secret that the tax year ends after December 31st. That's the end. So December naturally is a time that we look at our finances. Okay. So basically, I've got a couple of questions for you guys. Number 1, do you need to make a purchase this year for your taxes? Remember, I'm not an accountant. Consult your accountant because I'm not one. However, sometimes there are purchases that you can make that actually help on how much you owe in your taxes. This isn't the case for everyone, but there are certain spending scenarios where you're in between a couple brackets or whatever it is. So talk to your accountant. But before you do that, you need to make sure that your current numbers are up to date. So however you keep track of your finances, make sure that it's all up to date and categorized, which is something that I actually need to go do. So I use QuickBooks to keep track of the money that comes in and out of my business. Whatever you use, make sure it's updated. So then you can go to an accountant or a financial advisor or whoever and be like, hey, this is how much money I've made this year. Here are my expenses. Is there anything I can do to help either lower the amount I owe, or like, what would you recommend me do? Do I try to spend no money at the end, like at the end of this year? Do I try to spend a bunch of money? What do I need to do? And that's something that your accountant can tell you, because I don't actually know, but I know that that is a thing. The next thing we're going to look at is, how did you do overall this year financially? This is a daunting thing for people to look at. Some people are obsessed with this number. Some people hate to see it coming. Whichever one you are, go in and look at your finances and see how much money did I make this year. If you don't have the ability to do that, you need to work on that. You need to have a system for keeping track of your finances. You need to have some sort of QuickBooks or something in place to keep track of all of your expenses and all of your income. The third thing we're going to ask ourselves related to finances: where did most of your money come from this year? Was it weddings? Was it mini sessions? Was it brand shoots? Was it other things? Where did most of your money come from? Is it your full-time job? Is it a part-time job? Look at that. See, okay, where is most of my money coming in from? And what that allows you to do is it allows you to look at those avenues that money's coming in and say, okay, I am getting most of my money from weddings. I'm going to really pour into my wedding marketing this year. I'm going to really pour into my client experience, or I'm going to work on whatever. I'm actually going to stop doing seniors and families because almost all my money came from weddings anyway. This is just like a good thing to look at. You don't want to be repeating things that don't work, right? So making sure that you're actually making money from all the different areas in your business and which one is the most fruitful. You want to make sure you're reviewing your subscriptions and any software that you don't use anymore. Guys, I feel like this one adds up pretty quickly. For example, I sometimes have guests on my podcast, and I have like a subscription to like record videos of my guests, and like I don't need that right now. I don't have a lot of guests on my podcast, and when I do, I'll go on and do it again and get a new subscription. So I'm going to cancel that. And I actually don't use this one subscription anymore, but I keep getting charged for it. Go cancel that. Honestly, a good way to even just see how many subscriptions you have is when you get charged for them. You could be like, whoa, like I don't even use that anymore. But it is a good idea to keep a running list of your subscriptions, because it does add up, and sometimes adds up to more than you think and could be the root to a lot of money problems. So subscriptions, we're going to check those out. Your gear insurance and your renewing that for the next year if your expiration date, if it's in December, make sure you're updating that, renewing that. If you don't have insurance, make sure you get it. It's super important. And for 2025 in general, and we're going to do a whole goal setting episode. So this is not the only goal I'm going to have you guys set, but have a goal income for 2025. It's really, really cool when you're able to exceed your 2025 income, like your last year's income. It's so cool when you're able to exceed that. And you're able to say, here's my goal and here's how much I made. Like, this is really cool. So it's a great thing to do. Make sure you set a goal for your income. Number 2, and this is going to be for any of my procrastinators listening to this episode. You guys need to finish your editing like yesterday. Okay. Get your galleries out. December, we're creeping up on a time where people want to use their photos and buy them for Christmas presents. You need to have these things done. Okay. So stop procrastinating. Go edit those galleries. And I can say this because I just delivered my last gallery of the year 2 hours ago. So yes, I'm kind of speaking to myself, but you need to make sure that all of your galleries are finished before we even get into the rest of this. So this is really for just like the 3 people listening to this that are procrastinators. I know you're out there. Make sure that all of those projects that you're delivering as well, all of their projects on HoneyBook or whatever CRM you use, make sure their projects are closed out as well. And make sure you're backing up all of those photos into 2 separate locations. Okay. Very important. Okay. Number 3, what we're going to do to wrap up the year, you're going to blog all your recent work. This is going to seem like a lot, but you want to be blogging your work ASAP. The sooner the blog goes out, the better, because Google likes longevity. It likes blogs that have been up for a long time. So prioritize sessions that are representative of your current brand. If you're like, Cassidy, I've got 60 sessions and weddings that I haven't blogged yet, there's no way I can do all of that in December. Okay, prioritize the ones that represent the photos and the clients you want to book in the future and represent your brand. If you don't feel like it represents your brand and clients you want to book in the future, you don't even really have to blog it, if I'm being honest, but maybe you could if it's still like a location you want to shoot at in the future or whatever. So when you're blogging, make sure that you write helpful and searchable captions and titles. Make sure you include vendor tags and locations and all of that. And schedule out those blogs. Schedule them out to roll out during December and into early 2026 as well. And then when you're blogging, it's really good to just repurpose that content into social media content. So if you're blogging about a wedding, let's say you need some carousel posts. Okay, you've already got the photos there. You already picked the best photos from the wedding to go in the blog. Pick 10 to 15 of the best photos from either that whole wedding or from each like separate moment. So maybe you do like a getting ready post. Maybe you do a reception post. Maybe you do a ceremony post. That's going to be a really good way to get the most out of your content. Okay, guys, we're taking a quick break to talk about my photography resources that are all available to you on CassidyLynnEducation.com. If you like what you're hearing in the podcast, you're going to love my freebies. I have 4 free guides for you to choose from: my finding locations guide, my posing guide, my guide to camera gear, and my resources for photographers free guide. You may already know this, but I have presets as well, and these are 4 of my absolute favorite presets available on my education shop. I have my brand new satin summer preset pack, which is soft soft, subtle, and luxurious. Whereas some of my other presets, like my honey boba preset, is warm, bold, versatile, and has red undertones. If you want more of a film preset look, definitely check out my creamy dreamy preset pack, which is one of my ultimate favorite preset packs. Another resource I love is my email templates, which are only $30. And basically these templates are super easy to pop into your honeybook, and it basically has every scenario that you would need to communicate with your clients. There's new inquiry emails, automatic response emails. If you're unavailable, there's an email template for that. And if you get unhappy clients, I've got an email template for that as well. So head on over to CassidyLynnEducation.com/shop, where you can have access to all of my presets, my brushes, my email templates, my free guides, and more. And because I love my Oh Shoot listeners, you can use the discount code OhShoot to get 10% off any of my digital products on CassidyLynnEducation.com/shop. That'll be linked in the description of this episode. Make sure to go check it out. We're jumping into an ad real quick to talk about a longtime sponsor of the podcast. You guys know it. You love it. We're talking about Aftershoot. If you already don't know about Aftershoot, let me enlighten you because your world is about to be changed. Aftershoot is the fastest photo culling and editing app out there. The best thing about Aftershoot to me is how fast it makes my editing and culling workflow. Basically, what Aftershoot specializes in is automated AI editing, which is tailored to your unique artistic style. So not only can it cull through thousands of images so fast, it knows your editing style and it will edit your photos tailored to your style based on your preset and your editing. So when you open Aftershoot, you will start with culling, and it's going to cull your images quicker with AI assisted culling. Aftershoot can automatically cull your images by detecting unwanted photos, which saves you hours of your time. It'll group similar images, filter unwanted blinks, filter blurry photos. Then once you get done with culling, we head into Aftershoot edits. With only a few clicks, and I actually mean that, it's literally only like 2 or 3 clicks, Aftershoot will edit your photos just like you normally would in your own style. You can set up a personal AI profile in your style, so Aftershoot will know exactly how to edit. There's precision straightening and cropping tools that will automatically crop your photos for you. And if you're ever editing on like an airplane or something, Aftershoot is always available without the need for internet. And honestly, there's nothing worse than getting nickeled and dimed for a program like this, so Aftershoot offers unlimited images and sessions for one flat fee per month. So if you're like me and you edit thousands and thousands of photos at once, it doesn't matter how many photos you edit, you're always going to get charged the same price. And today for Oh Shoot listeners, you can get 15% off for anyone who buys Aftershoot using the link in the description of this episode. Thank you so much, Aftershoot, for being a proud sponsor of the podcast. And now back to the show. And it's actually funny because I feel like blogging kind of became like a little bit of like an irrelevant thing for a while. Like blogging was really big and then it kind of died out. But I think the concept of blogging is really coming back. I think people are getting really tired of the super fast-paced content. I think people want to slow down a little bit. And this is actually something that I really want to do a podcast episode on, like social media user behavior and trends where I think, where I think content is going. And I do think something that's really popular now, and I know as for a fact, is the brick. And brick is basically a device that locks you out of all the apps on your phone. And it's a physical thing that you have to go and tap your phone to in order to unlock these apps. It's really popular because I think people are getting sick of, and this is definitely a tangent, I'm so sorry guys. People are getting sick of social media and feeling like it's a trap, like people are not into it anymore. People are like, I'm over it. I don't want to be sucked into social media all the time. So I think there are certain types of content that people view as better social media, and I think blogging is one of them. So I think blogs are definitely like where a lot of content is headed, as well as just like things that are written out, like photos with text over them and whatever. Okay. Number 4 thing that you're going to do is you're going to audit your online presence. Okay. So I want you to update your current portfolio on your website with updated 2025 images. You're going to go in, and this is probably something I'm going to tell you to do in your goal setting as well, but you can get ahead and do it now. But updating your online presence, what I mean by that is literally your brand in general, your website, your social media, your emails, your honeybook, all of that. It needs to be updated. It needs to be updated with your current brand and your presence. Okay. So refreshing your pricing, your FAQs, updating photos on that stuff, adding new testimonials to your website, adjusting SEO keywords to match your 2025 goals and your focus. This is something that I haven't touched on, but is quite important. On your website, you have the option to change alt text and captions and titles of the images that go on your website. And this actually allows you and your photos to pop up for different searches. So make sure you are really honing in on those keywords there. Michigan wedding photographer, Seattle couples photographer, whatever you want to pop up for with searches, add that to your photo and add it into the SEO of your photos. Basically, a question I have for you guys related to your online presence is, does your homepage on your website match where you want to go next year? Okay. Does your overall presence online match where you want to be headed next year? Go back to the finance section of this episode where we talked about what's making you the most money. If it's weddings, okay, we want to head towards weddings next year. Or maybe you're just like, I really want to pursue more family work or whatever it is. Does your website and your Instagram and all the things, does that represent your goal for next year? If it doesn't, how can we change that? And I know it's a really generic question, but it's real. It's really real, guys. Okay. Number 5, a great thing to do in wrapping up for the photography year is reviewing your marketing performance. So asking yourself, what content did I post that actually converted into bookings? There's a lot of fluff content out there that you and I post every day. What content actually converts? How do people actually find me and see my work? I will tell you guys right now, a lot of my inquiries come from TikTok. It's so random. I don't really know how it happens. I need to figure it out though. I need to figure out what people are searching and what posts exactly they're looking at so that I can be like, oh, like you saw this random carousel post that had 200 likes and I thought nothing of it, and you went and found my website and then inquired. That's crazy. I need to do more of that, right? So what content actually converted for you? And can we stop posting the content that doesn't convert? Let's stop doing that, guys. I mean, there's some content that's fun and there's some content that is just to get a new audience, new eyes on your work. There's that type of content. And then there's content that actually makes people reach out and convert them into a customer. And so I think there's room for both, but really think about what content is going to convert into inquiries and then into clients. What platforms drained your energy and have zero return on investment? Guys, there are platforms and things that I do that sometimes I'm like, there's no return on investment for me. So stop putting your time and energy into those things. I'm trying to think of an example of this. I'm kind of struggling because I think my business is a little bit different than your guys' businesses. But there are things that you do. And I think for the most part, I've cut a lot of the stuff out that has no return on investment for me, but takes so much energy. What are the things that you guys are doing that takes so much time for you, but doesn't actually turn a profit? Maybe you're spending way too much time designing your carousel posts. Maybe you're spending way too much time editing a video. There are things that just need to be cut out, and those could be one of them. Planning your 2025 promotions, your 2026 promotions, and your evergreen content for 2026. If you don't know what evergreen means, it basically is content that is not trend focused or goes away super quickly. It's content that continues to be valuable for a really long time. That is evergreen content. So are there promotions that you want to do throughout the year, photography promotions, minis, whatever it is? Are there things you want to do throughout the year? If so, let's start jotting those ideas down. Now, in the goal setting episode, I'm probably going to go in and tell you, okay, you've got all these ideas written out. Now let's work on actually scheduling them. But for now, just writing out your ideas. What is it that you want to have promotion wise, shoot wise, all of that? What do you want to have planned out for 2026? And make sure you're batching early. As far as like social media content goes, your January posts are getting made most likely in December, at least early January posts, or like if you're wanting to post stuff close to the holidays, it's nice to have, a little bit of time and have things batched out a little bit. Okay. Number 6, you need to clean up your client experience in December. Okay. Make sure that no one is left undelivered, but unread. Make sure that you are going through and like replying to all your emails and make sure all of your projects are archived, the ones that are done. And honestly, if you're feeling a little extra spicy and a little extra motivated, go through and send thank you emails to all the clients that you worked with this year. And maybe send a thank you email and ask them for a testimonial. It doesn't hurt to ask. It's an email. It's not going to kill them if they open it and they don't want to. So that would be a great thing to do. And now's a good time to start collecting testimonials. Other things to do for client experience. Sorry, I'm just reading through my notes. Updating your email lists if you have email lists or use email lists. Even updating your like client workflow. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm so sorry. Your general like email flow. I want to say it's a workflow that you have with your clients, the emails that you send them, those timed pre-planned emails. Work on that. Maybe you want to send an outfit guide and you want to like add that into your workflow template. Like work on that type of stuff, guys. Number 7, we're going to talk about education and growth planning. So these are just kind of like generic questions to ask yourself this month. Number 1, what did you learn this year? Maybe photography related and not photography related. And what did you learn that truly moved the needle for you? What are some strategies that you implicated? That you applied? I don't feel like implicated is the right word. What are some strategies that you applied into your business that helped you get more clients? Genuinely. What are some new things that you learned this year that were groundbreaking, absolutely game-changing for your business? If you don't have anything, okay, we need to work on that. We need to work on learning and growing. That's a really big part of the photography process, and like becoming a really good photographer is learning and growing everywhere we can, with education and just with shooting experience and all of that. So what is one photography skill that you want to level up or improve on in 2026? Think about that. What are some things that you're not great at that you want to work on? For me, I really love motion blur photos, but I want them to be very intentional and I want them to still be timeless. And this is kind of like a hard balance that I'm facing. And I want to get better at that. I think there's a very specific way with camera settings and ND filters and all of that to get a very specific look. And I'm working really hard to figure that out. So that's one of the things I want to work on for next year. What are skills and things that you want to improve on for next year? And then what things did you look on? So let's say for 2026, what are some photography skills that you feel like you really improved on? A big thing I want to focus here with you guys on is the fact that it's okay to celebrate the ways you've grown and improved in photography. I want you to look back on this year and be like, I did that. I shot 20 weddings and delivered them all on time. I was able to hit my financial goal and even more than that this year. Those are really cool things and they deserve to be celebrated. Okay. So on the topic of like education and all of that, kind of going back to our 7th point, are there any courses, mentorships, or conferences that you want to commit to right now that you've been thinking about? This leads me into some insider knowledge for you guys, but I do have another retreat for next year in the month of May. That's going to be really cool. So keep that in mind, guys. I gave you guys last year, or I guess it was, when my tickets went live last year, I gave podcast listeners first in and I will give podcast listeners first in again. So keep your eyes peeled if it's something you're interested in. I'm prioritizing podcast listeners and going through your applications first and accepting you first. So stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say right now, but it's very exciting. Think travel, think, I don't want to say a word that gives it away. Think big, think extravagance. Think extravagant. Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay, well, now I'm excited. Now I'm off topic. Okay, and number 8, what you're going to do in December as a photographer, you're going to celebrate your wins, guys. You are going to celebrate. You're going to archive things as well, but we're going to celebrate for the most part. A big thing that I think is really fun for this month is doing a month in review post. So pick out your top images of the year and share them. Maybe reflect on some of your favorite sessions, or like personal wins. Share that in a little recap post. People love to see that. I feel like those are my top liked posts, are just like fun things that you do, and like highlighting your year, going through your year. It's super fun. And acknowledging your process and your progress. Sorry, not your process. Acknowledging your progress throughout the year. Yeah, like I said, you deserve to be celebrated. You worked hard. You most likely listen to this podcast and get motivated every episode and do task after task. And guys, this is great. We're all learning and growing together. That's the whole point of this podcast. So that deserves to be celebrated. Okay, other tasks that I'm going to give you guys. And this is just going to be, you can take them or leave them. Renaming your files. So going in and making sure all your files are organized, backing up all your work onto 2 separate drives, making sure it's all organized before you hit the new year. Evaluate your packages. Now is the time of year where you're going to start getting inquiries for next year. And I mean, you probably have already, but it's a really good time to evaluate, okay, for 2026, what do I want to charge? How many weddings do I want to take? How many sessions do I want to take? And really focus in on that. So is your pricing too high? Is it too low? Based on how much you booked last year, maybe it was too high. Maybe you didn't book enough. Maybe you booked way too much and you need to raise up your prices. Those are things we're going to look at for 2026, and we're going to make adjustments there. Or maybe there's something that you get a lot of requests for, but you don't offer. Maybe you need to work on figuring out how you can offer it. Is it you're always getting asked, hey, do you have a video add-on? Or maybe you're always getting asked, hey, do you have a film add-on? How can you work on getting that incorporated into your business for 2026? Just an idea. Okay. Other things you're going to do is you're going to clean up your social media. That's right. We're going to go in, we're going to archive things. You're going to update your bio for the direction you want to head next year. Remove any outdated highlights, get rid of them. Archive old posts that don't match your style or your brand. Just get rid of them. Seriously. Especially if your old Instagram posts are decently easy to access. Like if it doesn't take, if it's like only 3 scrolls and I'm at the bottom of your feed, okay, work on archiving things that just don't match anymore. Checking your gear and equipment. 'Tis the season to sell gear, guys. Like if you have stuff that sat in your gear closet or in your camera bag all year round, you didn't touch it. Okay. January, let's do December. If you have gear that you did not touch once this year, I want that gone. Okay. If you don't touch it once, that means you really aren't going to use it, to be honest. There might be a 2% exception to that, but for the most part, gear that sits in your closet is actually depreciating in value. I'm pretty sure this is true. I'm actually going to look this up because I don't want to be wrong. Hold on one second. I just looked it up because I needed to know if that was true. And yes, it is true. Camera gear depreciates in value very quickly. Specifically, camera bodies are going to depreciate very fast in value because tech becomes outdated. Things like lenses, those don't depreciate as quickly. But for the most part, that is going to be something that depreciates in value, with the exception of like high-end lenses or classic film cameras or anything that's like discontinued. So go through your gear. This is on my list, guys. I desperately need to go through my gear. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. I talked to Charlie about it last night. I was like, dude, I need to fix this. I have way too much gear. I don't use half of it. So I'm going to be doing that as well. I'm right there with you guys. Okay. Let's do a few year-end mindset shifts to wrap up the episode. Okay. So in reflecting on your photography year, I want you to ask yourself what really gave me joy and lit me up versus what burned me out. And I'll actually answer this question for myself live on the pod, because what lit me up and gave me joy was my photography retreat. One of the most fulfilling, fun things I've ever done. What really burnt me out this year was how much I traveled. I traveled way too much, and I'm trying so hard next year to not allow that same thing to happen. But it's starting to happen again. I'm getting asked, hey, you want to come here? You want to do this? And I'm like, whew, I need to be strong. I like my house. I like my house. I like my house. I want to stay at home. Like, it's hard, guys. So looking at that, okay, what gave me joy? My photography retreat. That's why I want to do one again next year. And I am doing one again next year. Wink, wink. What burned me out was the travel. Okay, so I'm going to work on making sure I'm home more often, specifically in the summer. I love a Michigan summer. The beach is the best. The lake is the best. The weather's the best. Like, everything's amazing in Michigan in the summer. But if I'm not home, I can't experience that. So yeah, that's one of the things that I would say is my mindset shift. Okay. Another question is, where did I see the most growth in my photography business this year? Honestly, celebrate wins in your business that aren't necessarily monetary either. Like, celebrate if you switched your style, if you got more confidence, maybe you have a better workflow or a better client experience. Like, those are all things to celebrate. You did the admin, you did what you needed to do, and go off, girl boss. Ask yourself, if nothing changes from what I did this year, do I like where I'm headed in photography? This is a hard one, guys, because I fear a lot of you are going to answer, no, I actually don't like where I'm headed if nothing changed for this year. So then if you have nothing change, we're going to use December as a reset button. Because if you keep doing the same things over and over again, you can't expect different results. Okay. Things need to change in order to see different results. If you would be 100% happy repeating the year that you had, okay, let's keep doing the same things. Like, you're going to keep doing the same marketing. You're going to keep doing whatever. You know, obviously we have to make tweaks here and there, but if you like where you're headed, good. That's a thing to celebrate. If you don't like where you're headed, okay, let's work on making some changes. And that's what we're going to do in this off season, guys. Don't you worry. You know, I always got things to do and things to work on in the off season. Okay. So sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. What would be things that could make your joy in photography 10 times bigger next year? Is it shooting less weddings? Is it having more creative or editorial shoots? Is it going to more retreats or content days? What would improve and increase your joy in photography next year? Write those things down. Okay. I'm not asking you to act on them right now, but write them down. And honestly, we want to work on kind of getting rid of all of our comparison spirals and like resetting the button on all of that this year. I guess in December, like, let's just work on getting rid of that. Okay. Because you're probably not as busy this year, or sorry, not this year, but in December. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like, literally, my brain is all over the place right now. All I keep thinking about is I had a TV interview an hour before this. If your December is not as crazy, I would love to encourage you to do a creative shoot of some sort. It's a really fun time to work on a skill. Maybe you have a vision, whatever it is. Yeah, work on that and do something fun and creative. I actually have a really fun Christmas photo idea that I'm going to do, and I'm excited to post it. So, yeah, stay tuned. And lastly, guys, this month we're taking a deep breath. We are relaxing. We are decompressing, and we're getting ready for January 1st when we lock in and get things done. Okay. So everything that I just told you and explained to you, these are a lot of mindset things, a lot of little tasks to wrap things up, a lot of jotting things down. But in January, we're going to lock in and we're going to improve our marketing. We're going to improve our digital presence. We're going to increase our bookings. We're going to work on client experience. We're going to work on having a better website. Literally, you name it, we're going to do it. So get ready. That's what you're going to do this December, is you're going to chill because we've got a big January coming. Next week, I think I want to do an advice column episode. So, and we haven't done one for December, so it's perfect. So stay tuned for the advice column submission link. Those are always the best episodes. You guys always have so many questions, and I always have so many answers. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys next week for another episode. Thank you so much for listening, and happy December.